¿De qué hablas?
¿Entiendes? Destino, almas gemelas, todas esas historias infantiles, cuentos. Sin sentido, tenías razón, debí haberte escuchado. Sí, no entiendo por qué sonríes así.
¿De qué?
Ladies and gentlemen, wanderers of the desert highways and seekers of the peculiar, welcome to a place where reality bends like the rusty signposts of forgotten Americana. Nestled along the faded ribbons of Route 66 in a landscape marred by atomic whispers, we invite you to the Atomic Shaman Sweat Lodge, a refuge from the eccentricities of the road, and perhaps a gateway to realms unseen. Picture it. A motel and RV park, rising like an oasis from the dust-choked trails of the Mojave. Here, under the flickering neon of our vintage sign, adventurers and wayfarers from every corner of this odd world converge. Amidst the cacti and Joshua trees, our grounds hum with a mystique that only a land scorched by nuclear fever can possess. Step into our realm, where time echoes the distant rumbles of atomic tests, and the spirits of old Route 66 still whisper their tales. Our Sweat Lodge, a centerpiece of our peculiar establishment, promises a journey beyond the mundane. Within its sacred confines, bathed in the warmth of ancient stones, you may find revelations, or simply respite from the ceaseless road. So, fellow travelers, if you're seeking a break from the relentless sun, a glimpse into the curious mysteries of the desert, or merely a haven amidst the fallout of modernity, the Atomic Shaman Sweat Lodge beckons. Embrace the allure of the unknown. Join us as we navigate the surreal corridors of this radioactive expanse along America's Mother Road. Here, at our crossroads of past and future, let the adventure begin anew.
All right, it's been more than 2 weeks, and people are making claims that J.D. Vance is the avatar of Vishnu after he visited the Pope Francis, and then within 24 hours, the Pope passes away. Then he visits India, and they're pretty much at war with Pakistan now. And I hope when nukes start popping off, the fog of war will be dank with the amount of memes and misinformation that the intel analysis will have their work cut out for them. And things are going to be lit with dance-offs as we get World War Poo before Grand Theft Auto 6.
It's true.
That's
I'd,
right.
I'd like to give a shout out to Apple Eater for the $10 donation last show.
Thank you.
Amazing.
And
Yeah.
yet another strong step against Pakistan in the wake of the Falagam terror attack. India had staunched the flow of water through the Balangar Dam in the Chenab River. So Akashvani Jammu correspondent reported that India had cut off the water flow to Pakistan from the Baglihar Dam. According, though, its decision is not a single drop to go to the neighboring country from the Indus River. So India was also planning similar measures of the Kishagaga Dam and the Jhelum River. So hydroelectric dams Baglihar in the Ramban district to Jammu division and Kishinganga north of Kashmir, offering India the ability to regulate timing of water release. So India's decision to suspend the decade-old Indus Water Treaty follows the killing of 26 civilians and mostly tourists in the terror attack the Baisaran Valley, the Phalang of April 22nd, Indus River Treaty brokered World Bank had governed the use of the Indus River and its tributaries between India and Pakistan since 1960. So the Baglihar Dam had been a long standing point of contention between the two neighbors. With Pakistan having the World Bank attribution in the past, the Kashinganja Dam had faced a legal and diplomatic scrutiny, especially regarding the impact of the Neelam River tributary to the Jhelum. So then India pulls the Uno Reverso. So after cutting off all the water, now they released water from the Uri Dam without prior warning on Saturday. And the sudden discharge triggered a water emergency in the Pox Haitian Bala district, forcing residents along the riverbank to flee to safer ground. The move escalated tensions between the two nuclear-armed neighbors, with Pakistan authorities condemning it a violation of international norms and the Indus Water Treaty. But the treaty was suspended on April 23rd, citing the terror attack. Local officials, Musa Pafred, calling the Chokati, issued insurance alerts via loudspeakers urging residents to evacuate. Water levels surged rapidly, and they were saying they had no prior warning. The water came rushing in, and they were struggling to save the lives and property, said Mohammed Asif, resident of Dumel Village District. Government official Musa Farafabad issued a brief statement advising citizens to stay away from locations close to Jhelum River due to India releasing more water than usual into the Jhelum, moderate floating. So they actually killed 27 people with the flooding of the water.
Damn.
And then I think as of Tuesday, India had struck 9 sites in Pakistan with missiles, while Pakistan shot down 2 of India's JF-17s.
What is a JF-17?
I think it's like an F-16 alternate, but probably like a knockoff version.
Okay. I
I
have to admit, I just taking notice of your effort to make an accent of some kind when you say places names.
Yeah, I'm trying to sound as professional as possible.
I like it.
It's beautiful. It's the most beautiful Indian accent I've ever.
By the many arms of Vishnu, I swear it is a lie.
So there's a 52-year-old Florida woman who recently was arrested after she knowingly bought and sold human bones online. Police say that Kimberly Ann Schopper of Deltona was charged with trading in human tissue, according to Orange City Police Department. The police had received a report on December 21st of 2023 about a local business selling human bones on Facebook Marketplace. Fox 35 Orlando had reported that the officers were sent images from the business's Facebook page, which allegedly advertised the disturbing items. So the Orange City business Wicked Wonderland was selling on their website of 2 human skulls for $90, a human clavicle and scapula for $90, and a human rib for $35. Human vertebrae for $35 and a partial human skull for $600, according to the authorities. So police took the human remains as evidence and submitted them for testing by a medical examiner that they were reported. They asked about products. The shop owner told authorities that they sold human bones for years and didn't know it was illegal in Florida, according to the report. She's quoted as saying that she confirmed that the store had multiple human bone fragments, all purchased from private sellers. I mentioned she had documentation for these transactions, but could not provide it at the moment. According to an arrest affidavit, she described the bones as genuine human remains and delicate in nature. So experts have found the cranium of the skull fragment, were likely archaeological finds, and some being more than 100, and while others were more than 500 years old. So, these people can sell human
500.
remains on Facebook and not get suspended, but I post like one too many offensive memes and I get permanently banned. How is that fair?
It's not.
Uh,
It is not at all. It's clown world. That's what
all I
it is.
know is like all these states have ridiculous rules for surrounding remains. Not that I may have been interested in buying bone dust at one point. No reason.
Phil?
Okay.
Uh, I'm sure it's to kill certain type of cryptids, I'm imagining.
Sure.
The silence says more than anything.
Sure. Yeah.
Uh, a Wisconsin teenager charged in the death of his parents faces wider allegations that he killed them in order to obtain financial means to assassinate President Donald Trump and overthrow the government, according to a recently unsealed federal warrant. So, Nikita Kasap, age 17, was charged last month in Waukesha County authorities with first-degree murder, theft, and other crimes in the death of his mother, Nikita Kasap, and his stepfather, Donald Mayer. So I'm thinking the mother might have been a mail-order bride, possibly from Chechnya or like Ukraine, something like that.
Oh.
So authorities allege the teenager fatally shot them in their home outside the Milwaukee in February and then lived there with the decomposing bodies for weeks. Before fleeing with $14,000 cash, passports, and the family dog, he was arrested last month in Kansas. And Kasap was in the custody of the Waukesha County Jail on $1 million bond and due in court next month to enter a plea. So county prosecutors have offered a glimpse of the federal allegation, which were outlined in FBI warrant unsealed on Friday. So the federal authorities accuse him of planning his parents' murders, buying a drone and explosives, and then sharing his plans with others online. But it doesn't say if he did this on War Thunder forums. But he was also contacting a Russian speaker, and his intentions are detailed in a 3-page anti Semitic manifesto praising Adolf Hitler. The warrant filed at the federal court in Milwaukee also contained experts of communications on TikTok and Telegram Messenger app. Kasep appears to have written a manifest calling for the assassination of the President of the United States. He is in touch with other parties about his plan to kill the president and overthrow the government of the United States, the search warrant says. The killing of his parents appeared to be an effort to obtain financial means and autonomy necessary to carry out his plan. So in court, the prosecutors alleged that Kasap was in touch with a person who spoke Russian, and he shared a plan to flee to the Ukraine. Authorities found him in Kansas, the money, passports, the family dog. But the prosecutors say that they had phone and online messages seeking to comment where he left Sunday for his public defender, Nicole Ostrowski. So in court last month, she moved to dismiss some of the charges against her client, including theft, arguing that the prosecutors had not laid out their case. And she also noted her client's age during the court proceedings. So they were saying he's young and he's still in high school. And he said this on March 12th. Country authorities had charged Kassup with hiding a corpse, theft, misappropriating identification to obtain money. Officers had found the bodies of Tatiana Kasap and the mayor on the February 28th. Family members requesting a well-being check after mayor didn't report for work, and Nikita Kasap skipped school for about 2 weeks. So authorities believe the parents were killed weeks earlier. Prosecutors in court said the couple's bodies were so badly decomposed they had to be identified through dental records.
Man, so cringe.
So Pennsylvania State Police have arrested a Harrisburg man for an arson attack on Governor Josh Shapiro, and his family had sent them fleeing from the governor's residency on the first night of Passover. So Cody Balmer, age 38 of Harrisburg, is expected to face charges of attempted murder, terrorism, aggravated arson, aggravated assault against an enumerated person, the authorities said. So Shapiro, who is Jewish, became visibly emotional as he spoke at the 2 a.m. attack of his house. He and his family stepped inside. So I'm quoting him as as if he were trying to terrorize our family and our friends, the Jewish community, who joined us for Passover, sent in the room last night. Hear me on this. We celebrated our faith last night proudly, and in a few hours we'll still celebrate our second seed of Passover, he said, and the entire home had safely evacuated. No one was injured, Shapiro wrote on Twitter. So Balmer was allegedly carrying homemade incendiary devices when he's stuck in the gated community in the official residence of the governor by jumping a fence, according to police. So investigators believe the attack was targeted, but they couldn't determine a specific motive. Uh, Police did not receive more details on Balmer's actions.
Wow. I didn't realize you got Shapiro to record that segment for you.
It's totally real and not like an impression or anything like that.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That's racist. Oh shit.
So
Connected.
a Southern California mayor is under fire for wanting to eliminate his city's homeless population by giving them all the fentanyl they want. A shocking
Hell
remark
yeah.
he reinforced by calling for a federal purge. So Lancaster Mayor R.X. Paris had shared his controversial views during a February 25th city council meeting when a resident took issue with the city's attempt to address the homelessness crisis by enclosing the unhoused in an abandoned golf course near a residential neighborhood. So he was quoted as saying, "All I want to do is give them free fentanyl." And then he said this as he interrupted the woman's comments. I mean, that's what I want to do. I want to give them all the fentanyl they want. But Paris, who'd been married since 2008, has no regrets about wanting to give homeless people the highly addictive and often lethal opioid, telling Fox LA in the interview Friday that he was referring to unhoused criminals who refuse to be helped. He's quoted as saying that I made it very clear I was talking about the criminal element that were let out of prisons and now have become 40 to 45% of what's referred to as the homeless population, that he told the outlet. They are responsible for most of our robberies, most of our rapes, and at least half of our murders, he added, without offering proof or data to support his claims. So there's nothing that we can do for these people. So Paris added that he didn't think that anyone would take his comments literally, explaining that fentanyl is so easy to get on the street that it wouldn't have made a difference if the city gave it away for free. So he touted Lancaster for providing more innovative solutions to the homeless population other than any other city in America before calling for a federal purge. He's quoted as saying, quite frankly, I wish the president would give us a purge because we do need a purge for these people, he said. Now, is this harsh? Of course it's harsh, but it's my obligation as mayor of the city of Lancaster to protect the hardworking families that live there. And I'm no longer able to do it, and it's an unattainable situation. I'm open to any solution. I want these people out of my city.
Based?
This is almost as base as Mayor Hagar in like the Final Fight video games where he takes to the streets to clean them up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
He was the mayor in that?
Yeah, he was the mayor.
I thought he was the police chief.
No, he was the mayor of Metro City, and then like Cody somehow gets arrested or whatever, and then there's Guy, and I don't remember anybody else that was playable.
Are they gonna
I-
charge him with some kind of hate speech? Or threats to give homeless people fentanyl?
I don't know if you can charge him for hate speech.
2025, man.
It sounded like he loved saying it.
That's true.
Yeah, it's not hateful then.
Mm.
He wants what's best for his people, at least the ones that pay taxes.
Based?
So, federal prosecutors will not offer a plea deal to the lipstick-wearing suspect accused of firebombing a Tesla dealership in a local Republican Party office in New Mexico. Attorney General Pam Bondi vowed on Monday. So, Jameson Wagner was arrested over the week and had been charged with 2 counts of malicious damage and destruction of property by fire or explosives for allegedly carrying out the attack. So, the 40-year-old Albuquerque resident and member of the LGBTQ group 500 Queer Scientists faces up to 40 years in prison if convicted of both charges. So these people thought they could get away with it, and they can't. Bondi told Fox News on Jesse Waters' show. So this is her 5th major arrest on Tesla. So federal prosecutors will not. We already covered that part. Well, I got an update for it, but I'll get to that later. So the accused arsonist will remain in custody, adding a detention hearing, which has not been set. Wagner allegedly used a glass container containing improvised napalm material to set 2 Teslas ablaze at the electric car company at Albuquerque showroom during the early mornings of February 9th. 6 additional vehicles, as well as the exterior of the dealership, were also spray painted with the phrases "Die Elon," Tesla Nazi Incorporated, and Die Tesla Nazi as well, written as swastika symbols, the authorities said. I don't know if he made them correctly or if they were spastikas, when they do them incorrectly. Wagner targeted New Mexico Republican Party headquarters following the month, according to the authorities, in the attack, which bore several similarities to the Tesla dealership arson, significantly damaged front door and entry of the building with graffiti and the phrases ICE equals AKK, which was found on the state GOP building. So the FBI and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Explosives raided his Albuquerque residence on April 12th and discovered a stencil bearing the phrase ICE equals KKK, the same color paint used to vandalize both buildings, and 8 assembled suspected incendiary devices among pieces of evidence linking him to both crimes. So they're saying,
when I
yeah,
heard
so
this, I thought it was so retarded. Like, how are you not going to get rid of the evidence?
I guess he was planning. I'm assuming he was planning more attacks, and that's why he kept the stencil and was making more devices.
Yeah.
So they're saying, like, let this be a final lesson of taking part in the ongoing wave of political violence. We will arrest you, we will prosecute you, and will not negotiate. So Wagner's biography on the 500 Queer Scientists website, a group that describes itself as a visibility campaign for LGBTQ plus scientists, notes that the accused arsonist is an electrical engineer working as an intern at unnamed national lab, which I'm assuming is Los Alamos National Laboratories, which would be within the vicinity of Albuquerque. And the update I have to this story is the New Mexico judge has already released the arsonist and dismissed the case on the grounds the prison wouldn't have gender affirming care.
What?
Yeah, they just let the fucker
Why?
go. So I don't know.
What?
Yeah.
Like, okay. We're just letting arsonists go.
I mean,
I guess as long as you can't provide gender affirming care, you can just
I
do
guess
whatever
that's
you want in the
more.
state of New Mexico.
What?
Trump needs to get
God
involved.
damn.
I suppose that's more important than dental. Like, I don't know. How do you?
I'm going to bomb the shit out of them.
I don't know. Maybe they need like scientifically devised dilators for them. I don't know. Like the prison just doesn't have them. A declassified Cold War error from the CIA had gone viral over its coverage of a supposed clash between Soviet soldiers and a UFO. So passengers, which reportedly turned the troops to stone before blasting off. Following the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, the CIA acquired a 250-page KGB report recounting the events that transpired after a platoon fired at a flying saucer over Ukraine. So the witness report included eyewitness accounts and pictures of the aftermath, which one American agent described as a horrific picture of revenge on part of the extraterrestrial creatures, a picture that makes one's blood go cold. So the report claims that the Soviets were conducting a training exercise in the Ukraine and spotted a low-flying spaceship in the shape of a saucer soaring above their heads. And during the encounter, one of the Soviets fired a surface-to-air missile which struck the UFO and sent it crashing to the ground. So I'm assuming it was the Buck missile system as they used. It fell to Earth not too far away. They said 5 short humanoids with large heads and large black eyes emerged from it, the report claimed. After escaping the debris of the ruined ship, the beings huddled together and merged to a single object and acquired a spherical shape. The surviving soldiers had recalled. In a few seconds, the sphere grew much bigger and exploded by flaring up with extremely bright light. And in that very instant, 23 soldiers who had watched the phenomenon turned into stone pillars. They were saying that 2 soldiers had stood in the shade, were less exposed by the luminous explosion, had survived it. KGB allegedly took custody of the petrified soldiers and the ruined spacecraft, which were transported to a secret base near Moscow. And this sounds biblical, where people were being turned into pillars of salt. Because didn't that happen like during Sodom and Gomorrah, Luffy?
Yeah, it did. Lot's wife turned around and turned into a pillar of salt.
Yep.
So I don't. But they didn't have aliens over there, right?
Yeah, ancient astronaut. What is it? Ancient astronaut theorists say it was extraterrestrials, though. I learned that from History Channel after midnight. Yeah, and Lord knows they're never wrong.
I thought you were gonna say books again.
Not this time.
Well, maybe if like Giorgio Tsoukalos wrote it,
There are books.
Yeah.
So the Soviet scientists found that whatever the light was, it somehow transformed the soldiers' living cells into a substance that was identical to limestone. And if the KGB file corresponds to reality, this is an extremely menacing case. The CIA concluded that aliens possess such weapons and technology that go beyond all of our assumptions, and they can stand up for themselves if attacked. Well, no shit, if they can fly around in these discs, while we were just crawling out of the caves or whatever you believe, like.
Yeah,
They've got millions of years head start on our technology.
No shit.
The CIA document was declassified in 2000 and originally covered by the Canadian Weekly World News and Ukrainian paper Holos Ukraini, but it remained of interest to UFO aficionados and was ever featured on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast last year. I hope he doesn't sue us for saying his name, but stories of the unidentified aerial phenomenon and alien visitors have resurfaced in public's mind for following the Department of Defense established of the UAP Task Force in 2020. It saw the government release of a plethora of new files on mysterious flying objects recorded by the federal government and goal to detect, analyze, and catalog the UAPs. So, getting onto the subject at hand of the Order of Nine Angles, that sounds like almost Freemasonry because you're talking about angles, but is this a Freemason thing or is this like a Masonic thing? And is there a difference between both, Beer Juice?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. So anyway, yeah, the matter of being Masonic versus a Freemason has a lot more to do with aspects of God. So the basic tenet in being Masonic is that God is real, right? So moving on from that basic understanding, the question is, what is religion then? If God is real, then man has no dominion over God. So there is a question of religion, and it's seen as an expression of how people receive God. That being said, being a Freemason is not necessarily the same thing as being Masonic. Yeah, in Freemasonry, you take certain oaths and obligations in regard to discipline, learning, and all that sorts of stuff. And the modern iteration of Freemasonry is really a reimagining of traditional chivalry from Europe. And if you go and look at the York Rite, you'll see that the two are actually married to each other. I think if you Google it, it says that what is it? It's the York Freemason Rite. So there's a lot to learn there. That being said, so in Freemasonry, they reflect on a lot of like the ancient Greek philosophy and a whole lot of other stuff for the basic premise of enlightenment and seeking of truth and all the whatnots. And yes, there is a Freemasonry encyclopedia that you can get for free even on the Google store if you like. So contrary to popular belief, all the secrets of Freemasonry.
Can I say something? The Google Store is not a sponsor of the show.
Yeah, fuck you, Google.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. Yeah, I'm gonna say, contrary to popular belief, all the secrets of Freemasonry are not that secret. They're just shit you're not supposed to talk about. In a matter of speaking, because the matter of being private is what makes something a secret in the first place. So, for example, I would never disclose on this cast what the actual form or nuances are of like ceremony in Freemasonry. But behind closed doors, I might have a discussion with you about it if it's pertinent, or I see that you're worthy of not compromising that secret, or you're a good man. You know what I mean? Like certain things.
I just love information.
That being said, there are no dictates in Freemasonry, which kind of brings us back to the whole Masonic view of religion. Yeah, if you can't have dominion over God, then you cannot have proper religion without, unless you remove dictates, Masonically. And one of the things that are good examples of what they consider Masonic endeavors through history were what I think one of the earliest ones were the retrieval of the Dead Sea Scrolls, which were what is it, Judea or whatever, and I'm gonna say it on and Mohammedanian or whatever group working together to erect and translate them from the Sumerian. Yeah. So anyway, and the matter of Freemasonry, like, looks at itself as things that would be things like building specifically, not necessarily the capture and preservation of lost history and information. But, more to the point, I could not tell you what a Freemason thinks of the 9 angles. What I can tell you is, and it's not because it's sworn to secrecy, like, I can tell you exactly what I think personally. It's because, like I said, without dictates, the information is offered to us, and with our own insights, we try to do our best to, I don't know, debate, discuss, come to your own conclusions, and be disciplined about it. And in the Freemasonry Encyclopedia, there is a nice long entry that I will read to you. 9. If the number 3 was celebrated among the ancient sages, that of 3 times 3 had no less celebrity, because according to them, each of the 3 elements which constitute our bodies is ternary, the water containing earth and fire, the earth containing igneous and aqueous particles, and the fire being tempered by globules of water and terrestrial corpuscles, which serve to knead it. Corpuscles, yeah. No one of the 3 elements being entirely separated from the other, all material being composed of these 3 elements, whereof each is triple, may be designated by the figurative number of 3 times 3, which has become the symbol of all formations of bodies. Hence, the name of 9, envelope given to matter. Every material extension, even circular line, has for its representative sign the number 9 along the Pythagoreans, who had observed the property which this number possesses of reproducing itself in incessantly and entire in every multiplication, thus offering to the mind a very striking emblem of matter, which is incessantly composed before our eyes. After having undergone 1,000 decompositions, the number 9 has consecrated to the spheres and the muses. It is the sign of every circumference, because the circle of 360 or 360 degrees is equal to 9. That is to say, 3 plus 6 plus 0 equals 9. Nonetheless, the ancients regard this number with a sort of terror. They considered it a bad message, as the symbol of versatility of change and the emblem of the fragility of human affairs. Wherefore, they avoided all numbers where 9 appears, and chiefly 1 or 81, the produce of 9 multiplied by itself, and the addition whereof, 8 plus 1, again presents the number 9 as the figure of the number 6 was the symbol of the terrestrial globe, animated by a divine spirit. The figure of the number 9 symbolized the earth, under the influence of the evil principle, and hence the terror it inspired. Nevertheless, according to the Kabbalists, the character 9 symbolizes the generative egg, or the image of a little globular being, from whose lower side seems to flow its spirit of life. The Enid, signifying an aggregate of 9 thongs or persons, is the first square of unequal numbers. Everyone is aware of the singular properties of the number 9, which, multiplied by itself, or any other number whatever, gives a result whose final sum is always 9, or always divisible by 9. 9 multiplied by each of the ordinary numbers produces an arithmetical progression, each number whereof, composed of two figures, represents a remarkable fact. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90. The first line of figures gives a regular series from 1 to 10. The second reproduces this line doubly. First, ascending from the first figure of 18 and then returning from the second figure of 81. In Freemasonry, 9 derives its value from its being the product of 3 multiplied into itself, and consequently, in Masonic language, the number 9 is always denoted by the expression 3 times 3. For a similar reason, 27, which is 3 times 9, and 81, which is 9 times 9, are esteemed as sacred numbers in the advanced degrees. Bleh. So there's a lot of that. So there you go. So in Freemasonry, it's more a matter of informing ourselves from historical context and all the text you're going to read. If you ever want to ask what a Freemason thinks or whatever about something, is going to come from sources like this that explain, like a documentarian was talking about it, its significance and what they were able to record about it in history and religion and other things. Yeah, I would be willing to bet that every Freemason would have a different explanation for how they see that. And me personally, yeah, I mean, like, it's evident that it's a divine number for any number of reasons, and the arithmetic hardly makes sense out of what makes it divine. But if you start to look at things that are part of divine symbolism without taking a look at the number itself arithmetically, you have things like the yin yang, which are 2 nines juxtaposed with each other. Or the koji, what is it, the 3 nines, 3 9 type shapes
Yeah.
that look like circles winging into each other, which goes back to the symbolism of 3 in regards to 9. And it becomes self-evident, even looking at Easter culture relative to Western, that there's this ubiquity of 9 that's expressive of divinity in the entire world. And such a thing should be positive as perhaps evidence of God, considering the fact that, not so coincidentally, all of these cultures through history and religions and spiritualities and so on have this in common with themselves, whether or not they've ever had any contact. Yes, anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try not to read into too much, but yeah. That's kind of my take on it, and I'm sure you get something like that from other people, but with different rationales.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
there's 9.
you brought up the egg, and I was like, well, that makes me think of the Orphic egg, which is seen in a bunch of esoteric cosmology and certain
Yeah.
like memes that the Nephilim Death Squad likes to push, and then bringing up the nines and like the symbols you mentioned. I was like, yeah, I think was it Shotokan and like Kempo Karates will use that as their symbol for their schools. You want to get a bit weeb about it, you'll see the nines repeating like on the Sage of Six Paths and Naruto. But like the Order of Nine Angels, angles has nothing to do with angels. Like, because I was thinking 9, isn't that how many fallen angels, like in the Book of Enoch, like
Oh,
help rebelled, and the whole Nephilim thing where they were teaching, modern science and math and all this stuff to like humans, as they fell. But it has nothing to do with that. So I'll tell
no.
you what it does have to do with. So the
Ooh.
so the Order of Nine Angles is a secretive, controversial, and often disturbing esoteric group known for its blend of Satanism, occult mysticism, and extreme right-wing ideology. It originated in the United Kingdom during the 1960s and 70s. So it had since evolved to a decentralized network with internal reach. And here's like a little breakdown. So their core beliefs and practices, well, they differ from Anton LaVey's Satanism by embracing a more mystical and theistic approach. involving actual belief in supernatural forces, especially dark deities and entities. So this sounds like they're worshiping Lovecraftian elder gods like Cthulhu, Shoggoth, and Yog-Sothoth kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, isn't the Levian version basically what you'd call anti-theism or
Um,
something like
it's
that?
it's actually closer to humanism. It's self-worship and putting yourself above everything.
Yeah, it's like a complete rejection of divinity too, of any kinds, right?
Yeah.
All
It,
right,
it's like a weird religion, but it's not a religion. They just use the name Satan because it believes it gives them power, you know.
and it pisses everyone off, and they
Right.
like it.
A sevenfold way, they say the religious spiritual path involving physical challenges, meditation, ritual magic, and real world tests like infiltrating hostile organizations. They have aeonic perspective, so history is viewed as a series of eons or epochs. The Order of Nine Angles believes that it's helping to usher in a new galactic eon through chaos and disruption, which it's kind of like sounds like a similar thing to the family, Charles Manson's family, trying to bring about their helter skelter.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
So I see
Yeah.
how that's like a similar view of what they're trying to do as a goal. Um,
Is
they're
what it
into
is.
accelerationism, so the Order of Nine Angles advocates for societal collapse as a means to reshape civilization, often promoting a violent, illegal activities to the end. So once again, it just sort of, there we get the what the goal was of Charles Manson. It was openly in line with the neo-Nazi and fascist ideologies. So some members had infiltrated far-right and terrorist groups, and they had criminal links. So alleged or confirmed ties to terrorists, hate crimes, online radicalization, and some extremist groups like the Adam Waffen Division have been referenced or adopted the Order of Nine Angles ideas. So they have a mythos and symbols. So once again, like their dark gods, their pantheon of chthonic entities, supposedly existing outside of time and space, which adepts seek to control or contact and get insight from. They have a sinister tradition. They describe their teaching as part of an ancient sinister current to Western occultism. Those scholars question its authenticity and historical claims. The use of insight roles. So members are encouraged to take on roles in society like military, politics, crime to gain insight and manipulate the world from within. They have a decentralized network, so there's no formal hierarchy, which makes it difficult to monitor or shut down. The guys operate like the Alpha Legion of Warhammer 40k, where they would all claim to be Alfarius.
This
They
is evil Project Mayhem.
Yeah, so they're criticized heavily by both occultists and counterterrorism experts for promoting violence, racism, and glorifying evil under the guise of spiritual evolution. The Order of Nine Angles is a dark, complex movement combining occult spirituality with extreme political and philosophical ideas. So it's often described as one of the most dangerous and disturbing currents in modern occultism. So we're going to go with to who David Miat is, and he's their alleged founder. So his background is that Miat was involved in various neo-Nazi and far-right movements in the UK, including British National Socialist movement. He was also deeply immersed in occult studies. He wrote that much of the early Order of Nine Angles material under the pseudonyms of Anton Long. He had a dual life, so for decades he seemed to live a double open life on the side, a militant political extremist, and the other a mystical writing dense occult text. Miet has long denied being Anton Long, and it sounds like there's an echo, but there's not. And most researchers, including academics and intelligence analysts, believe the evidence is overwhelming that they are the same person. So the Order of Nine Angles embraces obfuscation and myth making as a spiritual tool. So the group intentionally blurs truth and fiction, making its origins murky. Founder's identity is part of a mystery intended to shield the group or create a mythic or mythos larger than life legacy. So you might want to buckle up, but his life is one of the wildest, most controversial, and modern extreme in occult history. He's often described as a chameleon-like figure who moves seamlessly between violent ideologies, often chasing some kind of transcendent truth, however dark. But who is he really? So he was born in the 1950s in England. In his teens, Miat was involved in Western occultism, martial arts, and far-right politics. Um, he had far-right ties. He was an active in neo-Nazi and fascist groups like the National Socialist Movement, the British Movement, and allegedly served as a bodyguard to Colin Jordan, a prominent British Nazi. So Miat has widely believed to be the member and the main author of the foundational text under his pseudonym. Order 9 Angles philosophy aligns with Matt's own worldview, a mix of elitism, spiritual transition through hardship, and chaos as a creative force and extreme individualism. So then he shifts to Islam.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah, so he converted like sometime believed in the late 1990s. Matt had converted to radical Islam, adopting the name Abdul Aziz ibn Miyat. Islamist support, he publicly praised Al Qaeda, defended suicide bombings, and called Osama bin Laden a sincere, noble brother. Connection to terrorism, he was linked through the never formerly charged to radical group Al Mujahirun, which inspired several terrorist plots in the UK. So later years, around 2010, Maya announced that he had left both political extremism and religious fundamentalism behind, promoting a philosophy called the numinous way, focused on empathy, honor, and inner transformation. So, however, critics argued that he is just another mask, that the Order of Nine Angles writings never really stopped circulating. So some researchers believe Matt never truly changed. They say his religious and ideological shift has experimented insights on key practices of the Order of Nine Angles involving infiltration and other systems to gain knowledge and influence. Others think he became disillusioned or perhaps saw the long-term consequences of his legacy and never changed course. So here's some things they've been tied to. So the Order of Nine Angles, the neo-Nazi cultist group, had been linked to various violent crimes and extremist plots worldwide. While the group itself is decentralized and often operates through affiliated cells, its ideology had inspired numerous acts of violence, and here's some notable ones. So the Louisiana Black Church arsons in 2019. Holden Matthews, a 21-year-old from Louisiana, pleaded guilty to setting fire to 3 historically black churches. In 2024, the FBI revealed that his connection to the accelerationist terrorist group, the Order of Nine Angles. There was the Toronto mosque murder in 2020, where Guilherme von Nutgeden was an Order of Nine Angles adherent, and he was charged with first-degree murder, fatally stabbing Mohammed Aslim Zafis, who was the mosque caretaker in Toronto. Authorities had often discovered the Order 9 Angles symbols and satanic chants in his possessions. There was the U.S. Army ambush plot of 2020. So Private Ethan Meltzer conspired with Order 9 Angles members to orchestrate a deadly ambush against his own army unit. By leaking sensitive information, his plan was thwarted, and he was arrested and later sentenced to 45 years in prison. The Baltimore Power Grid plot of 2023. So Sarah Beth Clendaniel, associated with the O9A, was charged with planning attacks on electric substations in Baltimore, aiming to cause widespread power outages. There's Cameron Finnegan, a 19-year-old Order of Nine Angles affiliate, was jailed for encouraging a girl to live stream her suicide, and he was possessing terrorist materials. Then there's Vincent Carlton. In 2023, this Order of Nine Angles member pleaded guilty to multiple terror offenses, including planning a school bombing, and was sentenced to over 2 years in prison. We have Kylar's park murder in Sweden. So 2 members of the Swedish ONA group, misanthropic Luciferian order, committed ritualistic murder of an Nigerian man in Kylar's Park, Gothenburg, where they were convicted of a hate crime. Finnish police arrested members of neo-Nazi cells linked to Order 9 Angles for plotting attacks, including plans to bomb refugee centers and assassinate political figures. The groups possessed explosives, firearms, and Order of Nine Angles literature. Then we got the Maniac Murder Cult in Russia and Ukraine. The Order 9
I
Angles.
didn't expect so many. Jeez.
Yeah, the affiliate group, the MKU is for short, had been linked to at least 50 murders and 150 assaults. Members were known to record violent acts to gain status within the group. 2024, the murder cult, the Maniac Murder Cult, had claimed responsibility for a mosque bombing in Fryazino, Russia. And then we have one called the 764 Group, who are affiliated with the Order of Nine Angles. They have been involved in online child exploitation and inciting violence. Members had been arrested for encouraging suicide, possessing terrorist materials. And there has been an update that this group has been, their leadership had been taken out by the FBI as of this week. So the FBI currently has more than 250 open investigations into the group, known as 764, among other aliases, the agency had told ABC News. So this cult-like network had ties to neo-Nazis and Satanism, according to officials. The members would target young teens on platforms like Discord and Roblox, and then would intimidate them into filming themselves posing nude, torturing family pets, or cutting symbols into their own bodies, and other acts of psychological torment and extreme violence, the FBI said. So Bradley Cadenhead, who went by Felix or Brad764 online, created the 764 2020 when he was 15 and named it after his own zip code. And here's the thing about the guy. He's a ginger. So I don't know what it is about gingers that like they just get seduced by anything extremist, whether it's Islam or something like this, you know?
I mean, wow.
He doesn't have a soul.
I can tell the first rule of the Order of Nine Angles is not don't talk about it. For fuck's sake. They got around.
So with all these recent events in the news, just like the Milwaukee teen who killed his parents, wanted to kill Trump, and all that stuff, you know, that was also linked to the Order of Nine Angles. So, but I'd like you to consider the chaos right now with the Shiloh Hendricks currently having raised over $715,000 on her Give Send Go for saying the gamer word. And I feel like this could be part of an operation, whether it's funded by the Order of Nine Angles or Alexander Dugin, the Chaos Wizard of Russia, who's known for, you know, funding extremist groups, whether they're right or left wing in the United States. Or that Give Send Go is currently being used as a honeypot to debank the donors, the same way people were debanked when they were donating to Canadian truckers that were on strike during COVID several years ago.
Yeah.
Buck status broken. Buck status broken.
So speaking of esoteric groups, you can support our esoteric group at streamlabs.com/Atomic Shaman Sweat Lodge /tip, or you can use PayPal at PayPal me /Atomic Shaman, or buymeacoffee.com /Atomic Shaman. You can use Rumble Rats, but they take 20% of our tips. And if you use Rumble Ramps on the phone app, Google will take an additional 20% away from us. And you can buy Cryptid swag at tpublic /Atomic Shaman Trading Post. You can now rep your favorite cryptids of the Ozarks, from Wampus Cat to the Oklahoma Octopus. You can follow us on Twitter at Motel and RV Park, or on Instagram at Atomic Shaman Sweat Lodge. And you can write to us at Atomic Shaman Sweat Lodge at protonmail.com if you're interested in being a future guest or have episode ideas for topics you want to see us cover. There is a thermogenic warfare in a capsule. It's called Ultimate Burn. It combines calorie burn and glucovantage to deliver explosive energy, sharpen focus, and activate metabolic health with 20 times more concentration than Burbane hydrochloric acid. The globalists hate this formula because it actually works. Use our affiliate link to purchase Ultra Methylene Blue and Optimal Human Superfood Greens at the Alex Jones Store at thealexjonesstore.com /Atomic Shaman. With that, we'll take a 10-minute break and we'll come right back.
Yo, bro. And I was like, yo, Rocco, go sock him. And Rocco was like, and I was like, yo, Rocco, you get that ass, man. Don't tell my lawyer we kill people, man. What you laughing at? It's all joking, man.
develop men's soap for you, too.
Okay.
Get some of that men's soap on your body. Because you smell like shit, too. And you're a man.
I'm not. I'm not.
In China, if you're a woman, single, and over 30, you are called 剩女, which means leftover woman in Mandarin. In Cantonese, you are called 老底橙, 賣剩蔗, and 攝做辣, which means orange at the bottom of the basket, the sugar cane that didn't get sold, and the thing used for filling the gap of the stove. But if you're a man, single, and over 30, you are called 钻石王老五, which means a diamond bachelor in Mandarin. In Cantonese, you're called 笋盤, which means quality real estate.
Good to see you guys. What's happening? Are you going no headphones?
Oh.
Keep the dew?
I'll do that. I'm not quite sure what they add, but yeah. Okay.
There we go. All right. The goal of this is every time I see people that disagree with anything that's happening, any gigantic world events, it's one of these retarded shows where they're screaming. There's the word again. We brought it. Yeah. We were just talking about that.
You did it early.
The word retarded is back, and it's one of the great culture victories that I think is spurred on probably by podcasts. But these things are always like Pierce Morgan-y, which is fine, you know, where everyone's screaming over each other and, you know, there's 5 different people talking over each other. There's never...
Sending explicit pictures of your private parts to her.
I've sent one, and I had a bad day at work.
You had a bad day at work, so you send her an explicit picture of
She was asking me to.
No, I was not.
And she was.
No, I wasn't.
Then she got me arrested for harassment and all that 9 weeks ago.
Why did she get you done for harassment?
Because I was harassing her all the time.
Gentlemen, I'm here before you today to speak on the matter of the Kashmir conflict. For too long we have let the Punjabs and the Hindus and the Muslims to their own devices, and look at what has befallen the bounty of the gem of the empire. Truly, the crown must retake its authority over India, lest the whole Raj fall to chaos and wasteland. Laser on!
This is the new #1.
Guru, my dog died. Let's go! That's a joke, right? Please tell me that's a joke.
Are you a targeted individual? Have you had a paranormal encounter, or are the victim of an unregulated government experiment and would like to share your story with us? Would you like to send us some fan mail or a hate-filled rant? Do you have an idea for a future episode or wish to send a complaint to HR? Email us at atomicshaneandsweatlodge@protonmail.com. Like, share, subscribe and be sure to check the notification bell. Follow the Atomic Shaman on Twitter at Motel and RV Park. Listen to Paranormal Green Text Stories on Atomic Shaman TTS on YouTube. Catch the live streams of Atomic Shaman Sweat Lodge only on Rumble.
All right, we're back in hour 2.
Yeah.
So, Van, do you feel ripped off that you've been saying the gaming word for years and not getting paid for it?
Yes, actually. It's kind of annoying. I feel like the value of the N word is now being diminished. Sell your stocks now.
All right, so who's this week's guest?
Let's see. This one cost me a pretty penny, so I had to sell all my N word stock. Let's see.
In a world of boring podcasts, one show stands above them all. The Atomic Shaman Sweat Lodge. Covering everything from cryptids to the paranormal. From the conspiratorial to the occult. It's like the X-Board on steroids. And within that show lies a segment so based, so misogynistic, Andrew Tate gets wet thinking about it. The Atomic Shaman present Mugshotties, Smash or Pass. Where the bag bitches are booked and cooked. Starring Klaus Newhouse, the Professor Beerjuice, Van Rollington, and this week's guest is an absolute legend and the real Italian stallion, the action movie voice guy, Don LaFontaine. So strap in and strap on. It's gonna be a rough ride downtown. Let's fucking go.
All right, so our first mugshotty for tonight was arrested for simple assault, disorderly conduct, and a person under 21 in possession of alcohol. I don't see anything dangerous about this girl at all. I would say this is an easy smash.
I would love to know wherever she was arrested if such a thing as complex assault is a charge.
I'm also wondering if she's dressed up in cosplay outfit with what she's wearing.
I see the ring there. Yeah.
Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
Is
I
it
don't
Ava?
know.
What the fuck her name is, or Young?
But
Ava.
I'd like to
Ada,
find out if she looks better out of costume. I'll smash.
Oh. Wow, jokes.
Oh.
All right, I.
Oh yeah.
I will smash her as well. She looks fucking decent. All right, movie guy.
Give us an epic review.
Yeah.
Did Luffy already go?
Oh yeah, I said I smashed that.
Okay.
Well, it's a unanimous thing unless movie guy has a different take. What do you think, movie guy?
Rated T for teen. This summer, experience reckless youth. Experience reckless inhibition. Experience wrecking some barely legal poon. If she was a movie, it would be titled My First Beer. Coming soon. Smash.
Very nice. So we're gonna get
Nice.
these titles for all these chicks. Wow,
Unanimous.
what a concept!
Let's see.
Easily smashable.
Our next mugshot, he was arrested for drug possession, but it doesn't say what kind. And judging by her looks, I'm assuming it was weed, maybe some shrooms, a little bit of psychedelics, but I don't think she was doing anything hard like crack cocaine, fent, or fucking
No, she has
meth.
too much of a full face for that.
She got a young face too. Like if you told me she was a high schooler, like, oh, I don't know. But all that fucking metal in her goddamn nose.
Yeah, she's got such
Fuck out.
a red flag.
This one, we need to catch her early and make sure she doesn't get on the cock carousel.
Oh,
A lot of potential.
there's
I'm sure you could find her at like a what are they called, music festivals, or maybe at a Renaissance fair, something like that.
yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
I'd smash. I don't think I'd have an issue.
100. I do the 100.
I don't know.
You know what?
Possessions.
Wouldn't be my most dangerous venture. I'd smash it.
I just have such a hard time getting through how terrible those fucking nose rings look.
They can come out.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay,
They're not
without 'em-
permanent.
All right. I'll give it a sympathy smash then, because possession's
Worse,
not
you're
a
gonna have
real
one of those
crime.
Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, I don't like those. Was the transdermals or whatever they call them?
Yeah. Where
Oh yeah.
But all that, yeah.
All right. Movie guy, what do you think?
In 1982, Nancy Reagan said, "Just say no." In 2025, the youth say, "Just no Fent." This spring, experience the euphoria, experience the high, experience the criminal justice system. She was daddy's little girl, but now she's selling mom's fine china for some China white. Suburban white girl in Dude, Where's My Stash? Rated F for Fiend. Smash.
Yeah, it's unanimous.
Oh wow.
All right, our next mugshotty for tonight was arrested for public intoxication and battery.
Oh God.
And I don't think she's real. I think she's like a mannequin.
Dude, it looks like if you hybrid a tranny and a clown. Wow.
I mean, the face looks airbrushed, like completely.
You think like, man,
There's
I
like
can only
4 pounds of makeup on the face.
Yeah. How much extra weight is put on their face with that fucking makeup?
This is a girl you take
bad dye
to the
job,
pool.
too.
Yeah, you would take her to the
Bad
pool on the first date
eyebrows.
just to get, just to see what her real face looks like.
It looks like it's like blinks too fast. You take off too.
I feel like if I really hated someone, I'd set them up with this girl on a blind date.
Ooh.
Right?
That's mean.
I usually get set up with fat chicks.
I'm gonna pass. I don't trust anything.
Yeah, pass.
I think it's a mannequin, so I'm gonna pass. So I don't think it's a real woman.
Okay. All right. What do you think, movie guy?
I'm not gonna pass. I'm not gonna pass it. I'm gonna pass it. Ew.
That's the right choice.
Mhm.
Movie guy, don't disappoint us with your choice.
When the 40-ounce beers are all gone. When all the fools have left the party. When your homegirls have gassed you up enough. When the only tall boy in your fridge is a lying, cheating asshole who knocked you up. This chicada said, "Oh, hell no." This summer, you can get stretch marks, but you can't stretch patience. Raise your eyebrows and raise your socks. You want to see crazy? I'll show you fucking crazy. Some Hispanic baby mama in. Watch what happens if you hit me back. Rated DV for domestic violence. Pass.
All right, our next mugshotty for tonight was arrested for burglary and criminal damage to property. And I don't know what that kanji says on her neck. Is that the kanji from My Hero Academia, Luffy?
Ugh.
I have no. Let me zoom in. No, that almost looks like a Skyrim text.
Wait, what?
See, I thought
Like,
she
look at
might have
the
been a really
bird,
bad
the
weeb.
dash, and all
No,
that.
that's
It almost looks like the
Gotta
like the dragon written language.
So you think that's like a Dovahkiin like thingy?
And looking at her, yeah, she seems like a basic gamer girl. Yeah, I'm gonna put my
Yeah.
money on like some Skyrim text stuff.
She does look like she just crawled out of the basement. I can smell her from here.
Oh, I bet she's
Fuck.
rot maxing when she's not in prison.
Dang.
You know, prison probably makes her cleaner. I'm gonna pass.
Yeah, I'd prefer my goblin mode from people that don't look like goblins. Fuck off. Get out of here. Pass.
I think your speech just increased on that joke.
Oh.
I will pass. There's too much fucking going on there, and I feel like she needs to get like major plastic surgery before I fuck with her.
That's it. I am tempted. Like if the face wasn't a little weird, that smile wasn't all crazy, I would, but
Just
barely a palate.
throw this out there. What ethnicity do you think that nose is?
Oh no! Okay, yeah, passing now. Damn.
Your anti-Semitism just went up too.
I'm just saying it's not Roman.
Your noticing just went up.
Yeah.
Nose to sing.
Roll. Chill. All right. Let's see. What do we got? Movie guy, what do you think?
When chasing the high, sometimes you need to pawn a few things for just a little extra cash. The problem was, she wanted to pawn someone else's things. This winter, pray the ice troll doesn't steal your TV. Beware the gat goblin in your mailbox. Guard your copper pipes from the crank creature. Kathy Crystal in Tweaker, a meth head tale. Rated F for fugly. Pass.
Fuck. Oh. Ugh.
That's like horror movie of the year.
It just keeps getting worse. But our next mugshotty was arrested for conspiracy to supply cocaine, which I don't think it's a crime if you think about wanting to do a crime. You know, I don't know how they get people on that. But the tattoos aren't doing it for me, so I'm gonna pass on this one.
There is nothing right about this except the crime.
I mean, she's got some nice
Look at her
details,
eyes.
but it's just not.
Okay,
enough.
okay. The eyebrows are not even.
Well, maybe she's like a fan of The Rock. You know, she's like.
Her eyeballs are two different sizes. What else
about
we got?
Well, I think that's called astigmatism.
Okay.
But are her lips mirroring the lips below with that piercing through them?
No boobs. No boobs.
The tattoos are retarded. Motherfucker. No.
That's a pass.
No. You no.
She's expired.
Yeah. Like if you passed out in a kindergarten classroom and the kids fucking had markers, that's what you'd end up looking like. What the fuck is?
Yeah,
No.
I'm definitely gonna pass on this one. Like the weird tattoos. Also, those piercings on her top lip and bottom lip, they're not aligned, and that's like absolutely triggering me. So yeah,
That's what I'm saying. There's too much asymmetry here.
You would think that the piercer would have at least gotten like one of those laser levelers and been like, okay, here and here. But no,
I'm not sure which. Hold on. Which one is worse? This one or the one before? Goblin mode or? Oh.
This one is 100% worse. She also has like the tacky butterfly tattoo. No, this one is like absolutely worse.
Like if you could remove all the
Also,
tattoos
she
and
has a
piercings,
droopy eye.
she probably
so
started
they-
out better than the goblin, but not by much.
What is she doing with her eyes? I mean, look, her left brow is like raised up, and her right eye is like all droopy. Ugh, no.
I don't know what
Yeah,
it says. It
yeah.
says something blue, but I can't read the other text.
At least
Cordon
there's
bleu.
ugh,
She thought it was
cordon
fancy 'cause it was
bleu.
French.
Oh man, fuck off with this one.
All right, I'm passing. Which thing movie?
In one of the most trans-positive movies this year, she had two obsessions: tattoos and cocaine. Now, the only lines she is doing is the chow line. In his first male to female lead role, Travis Barker in The Blow Butch. Rated I for inclusive. Pass, because that chick has a fucking dick.
Oh, she's altered enough. She might.
I just
Fuck.
realized.
Well,
that
if
looked like
she was arrested in New Mexico, they'd just release her for not having gender-affirming care.
That's right. That's right.
So our next mugshot, he was arrested for possession of marijuana less than 20 grams, possession of a controlled substance without prescription, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Compared to the last few, I would go with this one just because it looks like an actual human.
But
7 out of 10 chat. You're writing down 7 out of 10. What do you guys think?
are those injections or did she have surgery done? Because
No, that's
That's a lot of
filler.
surgery.
That's filler. That's all filler.
yeah, there's enough going on there that it's like, how do you describe this? If I tried to imagine having a stalker, this is like the opposite of how I imagine they'd look.
I mean, it's
but
filler
still
and
just as
Botox,
bad.
but it's not as bad as looking at Laura Loomer. So she's probably in her early 30s.
Oh.
You know.
Yeah.
God.
She doesn't look like a character from Jigsaw or whatever it's called.
She's not that far. Yeah, dude, Loomer does. Oh.
Maybe she's actually funny, you know.
Your personality better be good, whore.
I don't know. That's the whole problem with women. Once they start talking, their attractiveness drops.
All right. What do you think, movie guy?
Honestly, I have nothing. She got busted too, and her only crime is looking less than mid. Wait. Mom always said, everyone has an ugly phase. The problem was, she never outgrew it. This summer, the 6 out of 10 stars in Mid, heading straight to DVD. Pass.
Makes sense.
6 was very generous of him.
6 is the new mid because we're like dealing with inflation right now.
That's true. That's true. Wow.
Our next mugshot, he was arrested for possession of cocaine and possession of MDA or ecstasy. So I would smash on this one.
I mean, maybe I just got some ugly fatigue, but I don't know. I feel like she's going to stab me if I even try, but I'd rather take it than the last couple we've stared at. I'll smash. That is some, yeah, that really is like some murderous look there.
That is.
She's just mad that she has to face accountability.
With the long schlong of the law.
I don't know. The cheekbones, the eyes aren't doing it for me. I'm going to pass on this.
I like it. It's a little crazy, you know. I'll get it. It'll get some, yeah. Smash. All right. What do you think, movie guy?
They said it was gonna be hot girl summer. But this brat got caught in a trap. Now it's looking like rock girl summer. The only bar she's going to is behind them. Trust fund, baby, in 365 days of summer. Coming soon. Smash.
I get it, because she was trying to have a good summer, so now she's stuck in jail. That was funny.
But
Do you think she got busted at Coachella?
Probably.
oh, maybe.
Like trying to sneak the drugs in and they got caught by the
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
thing, and then they're like, sorry, we
The
got the
narcs
cops.
got her. Yeah.
Uh,
So our next mugshot, he was arrested for conspiracy to possess a Schedule 1 drug for trafficking, and she's got that jersey orange.
Yeah, it looks like someone took a bag of Cheetos and rubbed it into her fucking skin.
I don't know if she lives on the Jersey Shore, but I'm just not into the bronzer look, even though our president is. I'm gonna pass.
Yeah. As a matter of patriotism, I have to pass in honor of, Trump, since she's trying to steal his look. Just,
I'm afraid of how many
it's the
Guidos.
right thing to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
my
pass
body
on this one.
count.
I don't like the dye job. It looks like she's like rubbed her face in model paint. Yeah, no.
Yeah. No, it's not looking good.
What
So,
might say?
Count is 1,572.
Yes, that doesn't look like that.
You might even say she doesn't have the cards.
No, she does not. All right, movie guy, what do you think?
The only schedule she's on is a deep kicking by yours truly.
Oh.
Coming in my bedroom. This blonde bombshell is ready to go off. Go off in my pants. The Conspiracy. Rated A for Awooga. Smash.
Huh? He's into the Guido
Alright,
look or
everyone has their
whatever, huh?
thing, okay.
All right. I mean, I
Hey,
won't
he's
shame him.
Italian. He's Italian.
Yeah.
That's true.
Our
What
next
the
mugshotty for
fuck
tonight
is this
was
next one?
arrested for Wandsworth prison guard. She was jailed for 15 months for having sexual relations with an inmate and recording it to her OnlyFans. So, Wandsworth doesn't
Wait.
sound like an American
Wait.
prison. It sounds
How does
British. So I'm thinking this knockoff Cruella de Vil.
Jailed for. Yeah, I'm having a moment where I read and heard that correctly.
Yeah, I guess prison guard pay isn't that good, but
If the problem is having you in prison, shouldn't they kick you out?
Mm.
That's
well,
what
maybe
I'm
they put her
saying.
in a different prison. You know.
Maybe. I almost.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on Cruella. She probably
You
has a
think
coat
she-
made. I think she's got a coat made out of puppies, probably like a Dalmatians, if that.
Dude, yeah. I'm like, you think it was coercive? You think she had to
Force the guy.
I'm gonna put you in solitaire if you don't fuck me?
Oh, she's that bad. Ooh.
You think she's that kind of Cruella?
Mm.
Yeah, I can see
Ah.
that. Look at those eyes. Those are definitely like the type of eyes that plot shit. Yeah.
Oh, I can tell she doesn't regret it. She's just, gross. Pass.
Well, that's like a 9
Lord
in
knows.
England. Just let
You
you
got
guys
like.
know.
That's true.
Suffer, girl, not suffer. All right, guard. Movie. What do you got? What do you think?
When times got hard, the only way to make the rent was to make guys harder. Dipping your toes into sex work soon turned into being neck deep in trouble. When you have 2 jobs, why not turn them into one? What started off as selling feet pics ended up having a mugshot. She was assigned to cell block D, but no one told her the D stood for dicks. Now, she's burning more coal than a steam engine. This spring, experience the romantic comedy of the year. Gangbang Gabriella in Guard booty. Rated STD. Pass.
So what do you think is worse, the guys that like feet pics or the guys that like armpit pics?
Oh.
Armpit guys.
No, the feet.
Yeah, I would say feet as well.
The armpits are more niche.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least they're closer to the titties.
Yeah, right? It's not as gross because it's at least, boob adjacent.
Okay, feet are not hairy though.
Depends on the girl.
It depends on the girl. Right?
But you know how far away you have to go from everything that matters to get down to the feet? Kind of,
This debate lives up.
Our final motion for tonight. She was arrested for battery, toucher, strike. I would smash, but like I said, she's quite the upgrade from the past several ones that we had to endure. But I wouldn't take her to my house, man. She'd probably clog the drain with that much hair. So I'd take her to B&B.
Little nappy. Yeah. Well, what a breath of fresh air. I didn't have to squint at this one. For fuck's sake.
Didn't have to.
I mean, yeah. Again, I don't know if it's ugly fatigue, but it's a smash. You're easy on the eyes. After all the crap we were just staring at, you get it.
Yeah, I'm turning this one inside out.
Hey, baby.
Yeah, that's pretty good. We did look at nothing but ugly chicks tonight, so yeah, this is the cream of the crop right here. I'll smash.
Yeah, it might be. Well, the first one.
Oh yeah, the first one. Yeah, we started strong and now we're ending strong. Okay, I see.
Yeah, we bookmarked ourselves, but yeah.
Movie.
They say the eyes are windows to the soul. But in this case, I can see her soul needs to be touched. This spring, every soul has a beam. And sometimes, you just need to flick that beam. Soul Flicker. Rated C for clitoris. Smash. All right, gentlemen, your time is up. Now, I will send you an invoice for my appearance. These services are not cheap. AI is taking over Hollywood, and I will milk this before those greedy Hollywood fucks phase my job out. Payment before June 1st. Goodbye.
I think Trump said he was going to save Hollywood from China, so I don't think he has anything to worry about. Beard Juice, you got some poll data for us?
As always. Let's see. Let's go all the way back to, least recent. Who is your favorite cryptid from the Ozarks? 15.8% said the Ozark Howler. 5.3% said Snorfus. 5.3% said Momo. And 73.7% said Wampus Cat.
Which one can you fuck? That's my
Now, I was about to say, I am noticing there's 4 here, and we only ever get
4.
I'm just saying these are 4. We wouldn't have to see the weird Wendigo porn shit if people would make it a this instead. You know what I'm saying? Every time it's like, how does that work?
There's guys that want to milk Wendigos, and I just don't think you can get squeeze milk out of the undead titty of a Wendigo.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Wampus Cat. Come on. Isn't that more bangable than a Wendigo? Who's...
You're freaks!
Well, we also asked, what do you believe mimics or doppelgangers are? 19% said the Fae. 23.8% said spiritual entities. 19% said reptilian shapeshifters, and 38.1% said fake and gay.
Yes, every now and then people report mimics either mimicking the appearance of someone they know or mimicking their voice. like calling out to them from the woods, or getting random phone calls, or like text messages from a person that looks like them but not quite.
I forgot.
Yeah,
Isn't there a story where if a stray animal shows up on your doorstep, probably don't open the door? It's a mimic.
I haven't
I
heard that, but I
guess.
know if black-eyed children show up to your house asking to be let in, you don't let them in.
Black-eyed children.
No. You know what you tell a
They're
child
running
with
away from their abusive parents because they
No,
have black.
no, it's not that they've been beaten in the face. It's the
Finally got
cornea.
it.
It's the cornea of their eyes that are completely black, and they have black
Yeah.
pupils.
y-
This is before the trend of people tattooing their eyes became a thing.
you know what you tell a woman with 2 black eyes?
Nothing.
You already told her twice. Let's see. We asked, what would smell better? 56.3% said Bigfoot's Goon Cave. 25% said VTuber's bedroom. And 18.8% said an Indian submarine.
What?
I just try to think of the worst smelling things and see which
I
one.
assume we don't get to pick the VTuber.
Nah. We gotta be nice to the VTubers.
Yeah, the only one that's ventilated is the Goon Cave.
I don't know. India in general.
You know?
I think Indians are funny, but I think India is not funny, and I think I would die there. That I would never go to India, like ever. Even if I was paid to go there, I would not go there.
Good call. Good call.
That's a safe call.
Yeah.
Let's see. We asked, the Vedic texts, particularly the Rig Veda, mention numerous conflicts and warfare, often featuring battles between the Aryans and the Dacians. Will a nuclear war between India and Pakistan be history repeating itself? 25% said, yes, time is cyclical. 6.3% said, no, nukes aren't real. 12.5% said, take your meds, schizo. And 56.3% said, nothing ever happens.
Honestly, I don't give a shit.
I don't know. For nothing ever happens. I mean, they're kind of popping off right now.
I do think the no giving a shit thing, though. Yeah.
I hope both sides have fun.
Yeah.
Yes. We also asked, would you use forbidden practices to extend your life? 8.7% said, I would use the arcane. 17.4% said, I would use cybernetics. 0% said, I would use cloning. And 73.9% said, no.
So this question came about because an anon user on 4chan claimed that they were using sex magic to extend their life.
Oh, well, of course.
All the people that said no.
So was Jeffrey Epstein.
You're a pussy.
Yeah, there you go.
Isn't cloning technically not extending your life?
Well, I
That's
think
a different person.
Well, they're growing their organs, the replacement parts, like in a vat.
Oh,
and then,
yeah,
replacing them.
that's right.
How long
don't
can
they
you do that for?
I read an article on the they're making bodyoids. Bodyoids, is that what it's called?
Something retarded like that, but it's also
Yeah.
very dystopian sounding. So, like, would it have a soul? You know?
Anyway, we asked, are people with Tourette's possessed by demons? 8% said, yes, it's legion. 32% said, no, it's a disease. 28% said, Tourette's is faking gay. 32% said, take your meds, schizo. Is there anyone? Tourette's has got to be a fetish, right?
Oh, I know there's a couple of, like, girls on
Yes.
TikTok that have Tourette's, and they're kind of cute, so people get off on it. What was it? One of them was called, she was from England, started with an A, I can't remember her name.
Baby Weedus or whatever.
Was it like
That one.
Abigail or something? I can't remember her name, but you know, she's kind of hitting the wall, so she's not hot anymore, and she doesn't
I'm
cuss like
just-
she used to. So a lot of people think she was faking it.
Yeah, she was.
Oh,
So is
Uh, uh,
Bailey, one they made a TLC show on.
You're done.
Yeah, that one.
I'm just asking because of the popularity these days. I'm like, that's why it's blowing up, right? It's because people think it's hot and it's the internet.
It's the girl.
Everything is
the
a
girl
fetish if
afflicted
it's
with
on
it's
the
hot,
internet.
especially if she's just randomly saying the gamer word over and over.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Rules of the internet. If it's on the internet, someone is hot for it.
Say the gamer words.
Let's see. We asked, have you encountered someone astral projecting while you were asleep? 6.7% said yes until they awoke. 26.7% said I was astral projecting. 53.3% said no, take your meds. 13.3% said I astral project Taco Bell.
Oh.
So this whole poll came about because there was a story from Reddit where a woman had reported that she woke up in the middle of the night and she saw what appeared to be a clone of her husband, but it wasn't quite him. And she said that she was trying to wake her husband because he's usually a light sleeper, but he wasn't waking up. And then all of a sudden, by the time he woke up, like the second version of himself that appeared before her had disappeared as soon as he woke up. So she believes that her husband was astral projecting himself into the house.
Oh.
Huh.
I'm a little surprised there wasn't more Taco Bell in here. And even more surprised by how many people have experienced astral projection then. Because what is that? Yeah, that's the 33%. A third. Let's see. We asked, would you want a vampire girlfriend? 15.6% said no, they suck. 46.9% said yes, they suck. 6.3% said no, I want a werewolf girlfriend. And 31.3% said no, I want a tomboy girlfriend.
So this came about because someone on 4chan tried to start like a dating advice thread on, on the paranormal, asking how to get a vampire girlfriend, and the subject of someone saying that they wanted a werewolf girlfriend instead, and then someone messaged me on Twitter saying, "Why would someone want a woman that hairy?" And I said, "Well, there's people like that out there, and I just want to see how many of them are in our audience."
Oh man, I'm surprised I didn't get trolled harder. I could
It-
totally see someone being
There was
like,
so
"Are you
many
out of your
arguments.
mind?"
There was so many arguments breaking out in that thread, but it was great, because 4chan had been down for a week, and I guess people were just really backed up on trolling. And then the best part about the whole thread, people started Macho Man Randy Savage posting in the thread and giving advice as Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh wow. See, I
And
would have come in there. And,
it was great, dude, because it was like 5 or 6 like posting of guys, Macho Man posting. I was like, I don't know who's trolling these guys, but they're fucking really great.
oh, I should have. Oh, I missed out. And thus concludes our polls.
Luffy, did you have anything you wanted to show?
Oh, to shill? Sorry, I thought you said to show. Yeah, no, you can catch me, Roscoe, and Warris on Exes Americanas. We usually stream on Saturdays, and you can find that on Roscoe's Twitter at fake Roscoe Jones.
Nice.
Van, did you have anything you want to show?
Yes. If you want to hear about the great debate between feet or armpits, Tuesdays, Destination Unknown. We watch weird fucking shit. Sometimes it'll be fart fetishes. Sometimes it'll be armpit shit. So you have a curiosity of the mundane and enjoy funny shit. Check out my channel, Van Rollington, on all major fucking platforms because that's where I am at the tippity top.
Because it's mind-boggling to you, yeah. How one man could make it to the top.
There you
go. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's the Macho Madness.
Rising to the top like the cream of the crop.
Beer Juice, you got anything you want to show?
Yeah, if you want to follow me on social media, just check me out on X, the Beer Juice, all one word. If you want to see what I'm doing with my free time online, besides this, check out the Petroglyph Press. Over at X, it's Finest Fake News. And over at Instagram, it's the Petroglyph Press. And you can enjoy the finest fake news on the internet and read about how politicians declined to observe National Honesty Day this year, or how the Easter Bunny apologized for the egg shortage. Yeah, good stuff.
The peak of humor. I thought it was hilarious.
It was, right?
So originally we tried recording this episode almost like a week and a half ago, and an update had messed with her audio settings, so it was just me talking and dead air. Like, it did not record my co-host and guest voices. So Luffy wasn't originally here. It was Not Nice Guy from trying to look up a show real quick. It's called Artificial Dissemination. Well, we tried asking him back on to do re-recording, but he got married, I believe, on Thursday, so he's kind of doing that honeymoon thing right now. So otherwise, he would have been here with us for the second taping of this episode. And with that, I'll go ahead and play us out.
I got the stockpile for the zombies, homie, watch out. The feds are plotting now, they knocking like they locked out. Not now, I'm busy. Your dog get knocked down, drop trial, showing y'all the proper way to rock out. I know how this goes, looking through the crystal. Everybody hates me and it's every day the list grows. Beat around the bush, yeah. I learned to tiptoe and stand against an army, plugging barrels with the pick rows. Look at who they follow, look at who you follow. If you want me, you can find me at the bottom of the bottle, in the corner of the room, or on the moon like Apollo. For fuck's sake, the earth is not flat, it's hollow, and there's Nazis in it. Shit, if that's true, you're probably gonna find me in it, vibing while we fry Hasidics, ashes in the sky's the limit. I'm just rhyming with it, this is my demented mind and y'all just climbed up in it. Every now and then I can get retarded, people nowadays just getting misstarted. You don't like it, you can beg my pardon, come and watch the world burn at my party. Every now and then I can get retarded, people nowadays just getting misstarted. You don't like it, you can beg my pardon, come and watch the world burn at my party. Coming proper with the grammar, you bet I know who they is, but recognizing patterns nowadays is fucking dangerous. Just ask Trevor Noah, he could tell your heads are rolling. It's bloody paradise like a bunch of dead Samoans. Join me on the balcony, you niggas gotta see this shit. I crossed the line like fucking Trump in North Korea, bitch, yo. LA's on fire, won't somebody get the chief on the wire? Nope, cause don't nobody care. I fucking love the smell of burning plastic in the air. I give not a fuck. I found the first mosque and shot it up, rolled down the window in the truck and yo, Muhammad sucks. Ooh, I'm so edgy, I just cut myself. Bitch, I never leave the damn crib if I could fuck myself. Call me all them names, go ahead, it's the basics. I drop these bars and hit the bar up in the spaceship. Every now and then I can get retarded, people nowadays just getting misstarted. You don't like it, you can beg my pardon, come and watch the world burn at my party. Every now and then I can get retarded, people nowadays just getting misstarted. You don't like it, you can beg my pardon, come and watch the world burn at my party.